I was a late bloomer, a 22-year-old virgin. My best friend, worried about my first time being a disaster, got his older sister drunk and practically shoved her into my room. That night, I was mortified, wanted to disappear, but she clung to me, ravenous. For 3 years of marriage, she spoiled me rotten, showering me with affection, always wanting to be near me. Even when an accident left me scarred and partially deaf, she didn't recoil. She clung tighter. Night after night, she was insatiable. I actually believed she loved me. So, the moment my hearing returned, I rushed to tell her. But I never got the chance. Instead, I overheard her, slurring and uninhibited, calling out for her foster brother. In that instant, I froze, the color draining from my face, a coldness creeping up my fingertips. Finally, Evelyn rose, a satisfied smirk playing on her lips. The first thing she did was gently remove my mask, as if handling a precious artifact, careful not to smudge it, before quietly leaving the bedroom. I pulled myself out of the shock and overwhelming pain and walked down the hallway to Evelyn's study. Peeking through the crack in the door, I gasped. The mask I thought was a simple trinket was being carefully cleaned by Evelyn, her eyes filled with a disturbing adoration. "Oh, Alex," she whispered, "I'm so sorry I tainted you. You were so pure, so untarnished. Forgive me." That's when I noticed it. Every wall in the room was covered in different masks. But each mask had the same thin lips, the same arched eyebrows, the same distinctive birthmark between the brows. It was Alex's face, but I didn't know when my mask had been replaced with his. No wonder Evelyn never let me into the study. I turned and left, fighting the urge to lash out in uncontrollable fury, biting my lip until it bled. I dialed a number. A clear, female voice answered on the other end. "Ethan, do you want to come home?" This time, I won't hesitate. "Yes," I said. "I'll acknowledge paternity and come live with you guys in America." I always knew those Hawthorne women were no good. "She's probably been mistreating you." "Don't worry, honey. I'll help you get revenge. Once you're here, you can have any woman you want. I'll start the immigration paperwork right away." No one knew that I wasn't just the adopted son of the Hawthorne family, but also the long-lost child of the wealthy Pierce family in America. 3 years ago, the Hawthornes found their biological son. I was kicked out, and on that very same day, Evelyn proposed, and I became her husband. I'd always seen Evelyn as the only light in my dark existence. So, when the Pierces found me a year ago and offered to take me to America, I refused, because Evelyn told me, "I can't live without you." But now I realized she didn't want me, she simply wanted a replacement. Willingly wearing Alex's face. "Great. See you in a week." I hung up. Evelyn pushed the door open and entered. I looked up at her. She was dressed immaculately. "Alex is back in town today. We are throwing a party for him. Get dressed. We're going now." Evelyn's face was filled with barely restrained excitement. Of course. How could she not be excited to see the man she truly loved? "I'm not feeling well," I said. "Can I skip it?" "Don't be ridiculous. You're Alex's brother-in-law. It's not polite if you don't come." Evelyn would never let me off the hook. I never understood why Evelyn always insisted that I attend events where Alex would be. I thought it was because she loved me so much she was crazy. But now I understood. She brought me along to constantly remind herself that she was married. "Be a good boy, honey. Please come for me. You can have anything you want in return." What was her compensation? Her gracious acceptance? "Oh, and leave your hearing aids behind. Alex's friends are coming. It'll be embarrassing for Alex if they see it." Evelyn's words were like a knife stabbing deep into my heart. She was afraid her beloved Alex would be embarrassed or mocked. But did she ever think that I was severely injured to save her and lost my hearing because of her? In the end, I still went. I didn't want to tip my hand. At the party, I trailed behind Evelyn, while Alex stood beside her, clinging to her arm, pouting. Sis, do you love him that much? You have to bring him everywhere. You said you loved me the most. Evelyn tenderly stroked Alex's hair. Of course, I love you the most. Ethan is just your brother-in-law. Don't be silly. Alex turned and glared at me, a mixture of contempt and triumph in his eyes. That scar on his face is so ugly, and he's deaf. I don't want him as my brother-in-law at all. How can a throwaway like him be worthy of you? Alex was practically glued to Evelyn. They laughed and chatted. Sis, my friends are here. I'll go over there. Alex walked away, casting a smug look at me. The intimate demeanor of the two was clear to everyone present. Evelyn, aren't you going a little too far? Asked Claire, Evelyn's best friend. It's okay, he can't hear anyway. Only when he's with me do I always remind myself that Alex is my brother, otherwise, I'm afraid I'll do something too far. Evelyn stared at Alex, her eyes full of reverence and love. Alex is so pure, so kind, so obedient, he shouldn't be tainted by someone like me. But are you really going to live like this your whole life? Alex is going to get married sooner or later. What if Ethan knows? I will take care of Alex for the rest of my life. As for Ethan, it was already difficult for him to survive after he was abandoned by the Hawthorne family and left me. So even if he knows, he won't leave. Besides, he loves me so much anyway. Having said that, Evelyn put down her wine glass, put her arms around my shaky body behind her, and put a deep kiss on my cold lips, smiling as gently as ever, but in her eyes, I could not see any love as she said. There is only utilization and possession. I wanted to tell her how much I could hear. I heard it all. The pain in my chest was coming overwhelmingly, my face was pale with no blood. Throughout the party, just when I could barely bear it, Alex brought a group of friends close. Before I could react, Alex burped suddenly and vomited. My clothes were immediately covered with disgusting filth. Alex said loudly with a sarcastic voice, "Sorry, I thought this was the toilet, so I came here." The surrounding people all covered their noses, laughed and mocked happily. "Oh yes, I forgot that you are deaf and can't hear." Alex laughed wantonly with hatred in his eyes. The situation quickly attracted Evelyn's attention. Seeing this, Alex went limp and fell into her arms like a frightened fawn, immediately changing his face. "Sister, I drank too much and I feel so uncomfortable that I can't control it." "It's okay, Alex, I'll take you home," Evelyn affectionately supported Alex. "No, sister, I want to be with you wherever you are," Evelyn agreed gently, ignoring everyone's eyes and preparing to leave. At that moment, I was abandoned in front of everyone once again. I was embarrassed, and Evelyn seemed to remember that there was someone like me still alive, so she turned to look at me with an unhappy look. "You are Alex's brother-in-law, you shouldn't have let him drink so much. He doesn't have a good stomach." I watched the two of them leave, my vision gradually blurred. I clenched my fist and staggered into the bathroom. It wasn't until everyone at the party venue had left that I took a taxi home alone. As soon as I arrived at the door, I saw Alex nestled in Evelyn's arms. As soon as he saw me, he was like a cat with its fur on end. "It's all your fault that my sister doesn't want to be close to me. It was clear that my sister always coaxed me to sleep when I was young. Ever since you married my sister has sent me abroad, and now she doesn't even want to coax me to sleep." Alex rushed over and grabbed me, my feet faltered and I fell to the ground. The servants around saw that the situation was not right and hurriedly stepped forward to pull the two of them away. Evelyn hugged Alex and protected him in her arms, comforting him gently. "Alex, I will always love you the most and I will never change. You have drunk a lot and need to rest." However, Alex didn't seem to intend to let me go. He picked up a fruit knife on the table and mumbled towards me again, "Sister, it's all because of his appearance that we became like this. Now I will make him disappear. We will live together as we did when we were little. You will love me as you did when you were little." The shiny knife pointed directly at my face and rushed over. At the critical moment, Evelyn raised her hand to meet the fruit knife. "Alex, you're drunk." Evelyn's voice was a little angry and painful as she looked at Alex, who was causing trouble in front of her. Alex threw away the fruit knife covered with fresh blood and moved forward awkwardly, tears like broken beads. "Sister, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, I just wanted you to look at me more." Alex seemed not to expect that Evelyn would block this knife for me. "You're okay, Alex, don't cry." Evelyn ignored her bleeding hand and gently wiped away his tears. The doctor arrived very quickly. After Evelyn's hand was bandaged, she seemed to remember that there was someone like me at home. She pushed open the bedroom door and hugged me as an apology. "Husband, Alex drank tonight, don't argue with him. There has to be someone on Alex's side, and he made a fuss to ask me to go there before he was willing to sleep." I didn't say anything. After Evelyn left, I slowly turned around, my lips had been bitten bloody, and tears were streaming down my face. I didn't understand clearly that Evelyn didn't love me, so why did she have to pretend to love me? If I hadn't stopped him today, my face would have been slashed. For a moment I felt confused. I remembered the past. Because of Evelyn, I was made difficult by the Hawthorne family, drinking one glass after another of strong white wine, vomiting to the point of dizziness. Evelyn hugged me, heartbroken, vowing that she would never let me suffer any harm from now on. But now the original oath has become so ridiculous. I lay on the bed, and as soon as I closed my eyes, the image of Evelyn in the study appeared in my mind. I was so nauseous that I wanted to vomit. I had to get up, and when I passed Alex's room, I heard Evelyn's heartbroken voice again. "Alex, you know very well that I can't help myself, but you still have to." Before she could finish her words, Evelyn couldn't help but kiss Alex's lips. She greedily enjoyed the satisfaction at this moment. Alex whispered and turned over to hug her neck, his soft lips pressed tightly against each other. At this moment, he finally couldn't restrain his desire. An ambiguous atmosphere intertwined and surrounded them. I don't know how long they kissed for. Evelyn's eyes widened and her eyes gradually recovered, then she released Alex and quickly retreated as if she had offended the gods and reproached herself with remorse. "Sorry, Alex, I love you too much, but we can't be together in the end. I can only be by your side like this. It's all my fault that I'm not good. Alex, I will definitely be your bride in the next life." I didn't dare to look any further. Disappointed, I closed my eyes, the moonlight shone on my face and 2 lines of clear tears slid down. I turned and left, burying myself in the pillow. I cried for a long time, so long that I cried until I fell asleep. Looking at the empty bed next to me, I knew that Evelyn had been in Alex's room all night. I moved my sore body and dizzy head downstairs, but I saw Alex sitting on the sofa as if deliberately waiting for me to hold him back for me. Alex pointed at me and said in a sharp voice. The surrounding servants looked embarrassed and spoke, "Young master, this is not right, after all, he." The servants' words were interrupted. "Who are you people, the master of all? I love my sister the most. If you don't want to do it anymore, then get out of here." I was pressed onto the sofa. "Alex, what do you want to do? This is my house." Alex grabbed a small knife with some madness, the corners of his mouth drawing a curve. "It's your house. If I want to, my sister will give it to me immediately. It's all your fault, you despicable man, for taking my sister away from me. My sister only likes this face of yours. Now I will destroy this face of yours and see how you will charm my sister in the future. There's already a scar on the face, right? Now I'll make both sides of your face symmetrical." A few stabs and the heart-wrenching pain immediately came. Terrible cuts immediately appeared on my face and warm and hot fresh blood flowed down my cheeks. I wanted to resist, but my hands and feet were held tightly. "Throw him into the basement and let him think about it carefully." I was thrown into the dark and damp basement. I was so frightened that I almost fainted, but I still tried to maintain consciousness and tore a corner of my clothes to press against the wound on my face. The dark confined space almost made me unable to breathe. That year, Evelyn left me alone at the company to attend Alex's graduation ceremony. At that time, the company's elevator broke down. I was trapped in the elevator all night. Since then, I have been afraid of confined spaces. I am extremely afraid of being in unfamiliar and enclosed spaces. At the last moment before fainting, I heard the door of the basement being opened. When I opened my eyes again, the dazzling light made my eyes a little uncomfortable. I was about to raise my hand to cover my eyes when the nurse quickly stopped me. "Don't move, you are receiving fluid. The medicine on your face has just been changed." At this time, I understood that this was a hospital. "How did I get here?" "Your wife brought you here. She is now taking care of her brother in the next ward. It seems that he was frightened and his condition is not very good." I knew it. When I have to choose one of the two, I will always be the one who is abandoned. What a pity, such a handsome face. If you could have brought him here sooner, perhaps it would not have left a scar. Hearing the nurse's regretful words, a tear slid down from the corner of my eye. The door of the ward was pushed open and Evelyn walked in, followed by Alex with a face full of tears. "I'm sorry, I was too impulsive and cut you." Alex reluctantly spoke, his eyes red but full of defiance. Seeing that I didn't speak, Evelyn was a little dissatisfied and opened her mouth. "That's it, Alex has already apologized to you. He just had a scratched face. Alex has been upset because he did not attend the piano performance. Don't worry, I will be responsible for your face. This issue ends here, don't be too extreme." I stared at her in disbelief. She has no shame for someone who just destroyed my life for her own selfishness and greed. The woman I had loved for so many years, even willing to sacrifice her life for, now said such hurtful words. In that moment, I felt as if I had been doused with ice water from head to toe, and my heart was completely cold. I said in a trembling voice, "Good then, that's it. I think our marriage should end here," Evelyn said, grasping Alex's hand and turning to leave. "My company has some matters to attend to. I'll hire someone to care for you these next few days, Ethan." Watching their retreating figures, I gave a bitter laugh. So, my existence was merely a tool for their twisted courtship. During my hospital stay, Evelyn was nowhere to be seen. Yet, I constantly saw her in Alex's social media posts. "Sis came to my performance. Sis is the best, she always cooks for me no matter how busy she is. Sis's cooking is the best." I accidentally scratched Sis's hand, and I felt so bad I almost cried. I switched off my phone, understanding this was Alex deliberately flaunting it. But now, I was strangely calm. Today was my discharge date. Evelyn had promised to pick me up but, once again, didn't show. Though I'd anticipated it, my heart still stung. After all, she was someone I once loved deeply. How could I not feel sad? The overwhelming sense of disconnect surrounded me, but I quickly snapped out of it. In just a few days, Evelyn and I would no longer be connected. Arriving home, I found my belongings piled outside. Evelyn said, "Alex was too traumatized by what happened before to be left alone, so he moved in here. You know he hasn't been well since he was a child. The master bedroom has the best light, so I let him have it. The living room has been cleaned up for you. Bear with it until Alex is better, then we'll figure something out." I just nodded coldly, picked up my things, and went upstairs. I didn't want to see Evelyn, even less Alex. After taking my medication, my face still throbbed, so I fell asleep. I had a terrible nightmare. In it, Soot, my companion, suddenly fell from a high floor. I woke up crying. Soot was the cat Evelyn gave me for our first wedding anniversary. She worried about me being lonely at home, so she bought me a cat. The successive blows had made me despondent for a while, even contemplating ending my life. Soot was always there, pulling me out of the darkness. I saw Soot as my only family. There was another reason. Soot was a gift from Evelyn. An immediate sense of unease washed over me. Leaving the bedroom, I wanted to find Soot, but I heard a cat scream from upstairs, followed by a loud crash. Reaching the third floor, I saw Alex adjusting his clothes, cursing, "Damn cat. I'm teaching you piano, and you still don't appreciate it. Sis has never let me suffer even a little bit. You're just an animal, daring to scratch me." It's your own fault you fell to your death. There can only be one master of this house, me. Time seemed to stand still. Uncontrollable rage coursed through my veins. I staggered over and shoved Alex, who was standing by the window. Seeing Sut's body lying in a pool of blood, immense grief choked me. I couldn't breathe. I opened my mouth to question him, but my vision went black, and I lost consciousness. I had a long, long dream. In it, I didn't want to wake up. I even dreamed that soot rubbed against my hand as before, as if telling me to leave this place. I struggled to open my eyes, a stream of sweet, metallic liquid immediately gushing from my throat. "He's awake," the nurse announced. I seemed to be back in the world that disappointed me so greatly. Evelyn's figure gradually came into focus. "I know about what happened today," Evelyn said. "I'll buy you another cat." Her voice was cold. "Buy another one?" My voice trembled slightly with anger, each word forced out from between my teeth, carrying endless sarcasm. "It's just an animal. Alex was scratched by it. You only lost a cat. Alex could have lost the chance to play the piano." I stared at her in disbelief, my eyes filling with tears. I never thought Evelyn could be so cold. Even if it was just an item that had been with us for 4 years, there should have been some affection. Not to mention Sut was a living being. My face paled as I clenched my fists, nails digging into my palms. But I felt no pain. The air in the room suddenly froze, chillingly cold. "Ms. Hawthorne, you just had an abortion. I told you not to run around. Here's your medication, remember to take it on time. Don't exercise strenuously or have marital relations for a while." The doctor pushed the door open, breaking the deathly silence. "Abortion? What abortion?" My pupils dilated, as if struck by lightning. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "We want a child, but this wasn't the right time, so I removed it," Evelyn said. "I will give Ethan another child." Once again the ruthless blade has come. Alex suddenly burst in, interrupting Evelyn. "Sis, didn't you say you'd never have kids with him? You promised me before the wedding. You said you'd never give him a child. He already stole you from me. Now he wants to use a child to tie you down. Why are you doing this? How could you be so cruel to me?" And questioning as if a storm inside of him that couldn't be contained. Evelyn dragged him out. The hospital hallway echoed with Alex's sobbing questions. "Why, sis? He's just deaf. He's already like this. You still want to have kids with him? You promised me that if you ever wanted to have a child with him, you'd let me die." Outside, after I forced my body outside, I saw Evelyn hugging Alex tightly, as if afraid of losing him. I didn't dare look anymore, and turned back to the hospital room. The phone rang with a message from Summer Pierce. "Ethan, I've completed the paperwork on this end. You can come over here any time." "Great. I'll be there in 2 days." My visa would arrive in 2 days. At the same time, my divorce lawyer called. "Mr. Ethan, your divorce agreement has been drafted. You can come pick it up when you have time." "Good. I'll come tomorrow." That evening, I left the hospital. I knew Evelyn would be with Alex all night whenever Alex acted up. Sure enough, looking at the empty villa, I laughed mockingly. While the two were away, I packed all my belongings and tossed them into the yard. A fire consumed everything. The blazing flames illuminated my distorted face, a picture of grief. 10 years ago, I was a substitute for the Pierce family's son. For 5 years, I was Alex's substitute. From now on, I was only myself. I would never be a substitute for anyone again. I gently held the abortion report in my hand, tears streaming down my face. "I'm sorry, child. It's all Dad's fault." I collapsed. I'd only just learned of this little life, then was immediately told I'd lost it completely. I was the child's father, yet the last to know about it. How could I not hate? The next morning, Evelyn and Alex returned. Alex intimately took Evelyn's arm, laughing and chatting, seemingly oblivious to another person's presence in the living room. Sis, I still want to go to that restaurant next time. Whatever you want, my dear. I might as well buy that restaurant and serve you alone. I couldn't bear to witness their affection any longer. Turning to go to my room, I was stopped by Evelyn. These gifts are for you. Consider it compensation. I lowered my eyes and quietly hummed an acknowledgement. I know. I glanced at the shopping bags in the driver's hands, silently mocking. I would be leaving completely tomorrow. What did I need these for? Why are there so many missing things in the house? Where are the wedding photos on the wall? Evelyn frowned, her expression somewhat displeased, her voice filled with impatience. She thought this was another tactic I was using to show jealousy and seek her favor. If you don't like them, replace them. The wedding photos were dirty, so I took them down. I spoke calmly, my eyes betraying no emotion. I returned to the bedroom. That evening, the door was pushed open. Tomorrow is Alex's piano performance. Come with me. It's a good chance to reconcile the relationship between the two of you. Her words sounded like a command. Evelyn casually got into bed, wrapped her arms around my waist, her fair hands caressing my body, her scent immediately filling the small, narrow room. But at this moment, I only felt nauseous. I'm not feeling well, I said. Evelyn's hands froze, and she said awkwardly, I'll sleep in the study tonight. In the darkness, I laughed bitterly. The study, the place where Evelyn kept all her secrets. The next morning, I was awakened by noise and cursing. Coming out, I saw Alex holding scissors, the furniture in disarray, pieces of clothing scattered everywhere. The luggage that had been packed last night was ripped open. Shameless man, daring to seduce my sister. You also stole her affection from me. Alex grabbed a stuffed rabbit, ready to use the scissors on it. I couldn't care less and rushed over, intending to snatch it back. That rabbit was the only thing I took with me when I got lost. I'd always kept it by my side all these years. Alex killed Soot and now wanted to destroy my stuffed toy. I don't know where the strength came from, and I pushed Alex away. During the struggle, the scissors cut Alex's arm. My blood. Alex screamed, collapsing. Evelyn heard the commotion and rushed over, seeing the blood gradually seeping through Alex's arm. Her eyes filled with a pain and panic that I had never seen before, and she hugged Alex, turning to me with resentment. Ethan, do you have to destroy Alex? If anything happens to Alex, I'll never forgive you. In Evelyn's eyes was an anger and panic that I'd never seen. Even though I lost my hearing for her and nearly lost my life, she'd never been as distressed as she was today. After the ambulance took Alex, I looked down at my bleeding fingers. I didn't need it anymore. Anything related to Evelyn was unnecessary. Including our marriage. I simply bandaged my hand and placed the divorce agreement and the blood-stained stuffed rabbit on the bedside table. I put on a mask and hailed a taxi to Kim Hai Airport. As the plane took off, I looked back at the city that held all my pain. I would probably never return in my life. At the hospital, Evelyn stayed by Alex's side, her eyes red, showing everyone her distress. The wound isn't deep. It won't leave a scar. It'll scab in about a week, she said. Hearing the doctor's words, Evelyn nodded and turned to tell her assistant, tell Ethan Dash. He's gone too far this time. If he doesn't apologize to Alex for good measures, just divorce. Before the assistant could respond, the housekeeper rushed in, panicked. Ms. Hawthorne, he's gone. Evelyn lost her temper, unable to restrain herself, seize him at once. How dare he do this? But in the next moment, Evelyn saw the divorce agreement the housekeeper handed her, and she was completely stunned. I had nothing to do with what happened, but now he's gone. Evelyn raged, bring him back right now. Did you ask him to apologize? But in the next moment, Evelyn saw the divorce agreement the housekeeper handed her, and she was completely stunned. No way. He is an orphan, how could he possibly leave? I will not let him just get away for what happened. He loves me so much, how could he leave? Find Ethan for me and everyone leave me. Evelyn narrowed his eyebrows. Find him quickly and remember to tell him that he is just too upset, but I want him to please come home. If he doesn't, he has no hope on the streets. Evelyn comforts herself repeatedly. Evelyn almost lost her breath due to what was happening. Everyone in the room trembled with fear. She grabbed the divorce agreement from the housekeeper's hand, and the 3 large words, divorce agreement, clearly stung her eyes. She was shocked to see my signature on the document. How could have? We've known each other for 7 years, I would recognize his handwriting anywhere. Evelyn yelled while tears fell from her face. Evelyn tore the divorce agreement apart, trying to hide her anxiety, but her trembling hands revealed the horror in her heart. As she watched, she called out to the assistant, who was about to leave, "Stop all his credit cards." Alex was never concerned or worried about me like that. He was completely focused and taking care of everything that was concerning to him. Evelyn's hand shook, and a fruit knife cut her finger, and a drop of blood immediately seeped out. She stared blankly at the dripping blood, not knowing why she didn't feel any pain, and what was showing in her face with that moment was the vision of when I cut her hand. "Sister, you're bleeding." Alex exclaimed in surprise. Evelyn said, "Rest by dat, I'll be out in a moment. Follow the figure and find me as quickly as possible," Evelyn said. While watching Evelyn leave and look confused, Alex had so much anger and was starting to be the cause of her distress. "Right now he's beautiful face and was a cold stone. Why don't you go die right now?" While inside the dark SUV car, with Evelyn who was in the back seat with so much impatient, "Find everything now and tell me where is his final locations." The assistant quickly found my last location and said Evelyn that Ethan was last located at Kim High Airport. "We believe he boarded a plane and went to USA. There has not been a tracking or connection with him ever since that takeoff." Her personal friend or assistant, "Are you happy because he had a green card or American citizenship?" The assistant was confused and worried. She didn't know what was going to be Evelyn saying. The assistant, "Evelyn, but you can see that he was good for you, but the way you treated him, he was a sweet, kind and the person that made you to get together with him and he was there for you. But the baby you were carrying was yours," the assistant pleaded. "Ms. Hawthorne, look at how Ethan was being treated. He's barely in his 20s, but he looks like a wreck. Even as just a secretary, I can't bear it anymore. Ms. Hawthorne, fire me. I can't bring myself to find Ethan and have him continue to suffer. Please, have some compassion and give Ethan a way out. Give him a chance at life." A little agitated, she continued, "Since she officially took over the Hawthorne Group, no one has dared to defy her. I'm the first, and the secretary willingly became the second to be fired by the Hawthorne Group. There were potential losses for being fired, including being forbidden in this industry. However, she did not regret to do this. The fact that she could not see me or her continuing to be treated the way she had. She was a true human." The secretary bowed deeply to Evelyn, turned, and left. Evelyn stared intently at the red string on her hand, once again lost in memories. She was an illegitimate child who was only welcomed into the Hawthorne family at the age of 10, always living cautiously and carefully. Her home was on the outside was peace and love, however, on the inside it was all an act and lies. This thread of red was to bring her love and peace. I can hear the voice of the kind and sweet Ethan, but I realize it was long gone. It was too much. He was too nice and he wasn't getting what he wanted from her? "If you don't love him, please give him a way to live." Evelyn took out her phone and called that number again and again. The gentle voice that once greeted her by name every time she answered the phone had completely disappeared, replaced by a cold, mechanical voice. "There isn't much I can with the contact info. It's gone." Every message sent was met with the same result, a red exclamation point. She was furious and said, "Why am I not able to contact him? What's going on here? No one cannot take my call that I want to make. Never." The more Evelyn thought about it, the more frustrated she became, and she directly called the housekeeper, her voice still cold but with a hint of barely perceptible frustration. Even she herself was unclear about what her feelings for Ethan really were. "Print out the divorce agreement tomorrow and throw away all the things in the house related to him." Without waiting for the housekeeper to answer, Evelyn hung up. There's no point, there isn't anything of what you mentioned. Inside the hospital where Alex was staying, he received text messages from no sender name with pictures showing the inside of her place and her things. These pictures that she would never to show to anyone. Her study was completely filled. Those images, especially with the inside of the room, showed her full and inner side. In all the images and all the images of himself, he was completely and utterly filled with himself. He was so happy that his mouth was getting wet with all the things to himself and about himself. Before he could set his phone down, the door to the hospital room was pushed open, and a nurse came in with a box. "Mr. Alex, someone just sent a package, saying it's for you." Alex was a little suspicious, but he still took it. Inside, dozens of love letters were neatly arranged, along with a mask identical to his. His face was almost identical, and a hearing aid, along with a letter that said this: "The person Evelyn loves will always be you, and she wants her time with you. Evelyn married me just to always remind herself of her married status, so she wouldn't have any over-the-line thoughts about you. But you see, in her study, there are masks that look exactly like you everywhere. Every time we are in the bedroom, she would put a mask exactly like your face on me and take off my hearing aids. When she forgot herself and called your name, but because my ears had healed months back, I was able to hear everything." At that moment, countless emotions converged in Alex's eyes. So, the person Evelyn always loved was him. Alex wasn't stupid. He saw the affection Evelyn had for him, but he didn't want to be possessed by Evelyn. But on Evelyn's wedding day, he was jealous like crazy. He was both afraid of losing and afraid of gaining. Now, the last veil of shame between Evelyn and him had been torn away. Alex was immersed in this great joy and couldn't escape. Early the next morning, Alex demanded to be discharged from the hospital. It was rare that he didn't ask Evelyn to go with him. If it had been before, Alex would definitely have clung to Evelyn, not wanting to leave. Evelyn didn't go home, she just took Alex to the door of his house. She looked inquiringly into the house, trying to find Ethan's figure. She even imagined that Ethan had understood the situation and had already returned. Seeing Evelyn's eyes constantly glancing inside, Alex took her arm and sweetly said, "Sis, he's not here. Don't worry, no one dares to bully me. They all know you love me the most and wouldn't dare disrespect me." Immediately after, Alex leaned down and gently kissed Evelyn on the cheek. Evelyn was startled by the sudden kiss and took a few steps back, her face full of panic and confusion, but a hint of love and helplessness flashed in her eyes. "Alex, don't do that. I'm your sister. Shouldn't my sister be so bad?" Alex blinked and looked at her with a radiant smile, making it impossible for her to say the words, "I don't like you." Helpless, she reached out and gently stroked Alex's head. "I love Alex the most. I will go to see what happened while you were in the hospital and let me know, okay?" Alex happily watched the car gradually disappear from view, but Evelyn in the car had a complicated mood. What Alex didn't know was that in Evelyn's eyes just now, all she could see was the image of Ethan holding her, being gentle and caring. Ever since she learned that Ethan had left, Evelyn had never slept. She only needed to close her eyes, and her mind would be full of Ethan's image, every gesture, smile, and even every word. She forced herself to sleep, but she was always awakened by nightmares. She struggled to handle work all day, and only when she was working could she gradually forget Ethan. When she got home in the evening, she was greeted by a dark room, with even the housekeeper gone. She was a little worried and called Alex, "Are you home?" but there was still no response. Evelyn looked at the rose petals on the ground, following them to the door of Alex's room. Her hand was raised, a little hesitant, but only for a few seconds before finally opening the door. She gently pulled up the covers, revealing Alex, who was only wearing pants, his upper body completely naked. Alex coquettishly called out "Sis," his white hands gently hugging her waist. "Sis, Ethan told me everything. The person you like is me, always me. Sis, I'm standing in front of you. You can do whatever you want." An ambiguous atmosphere instantly filled the air. Alex gradually approached. Just as their lips were about to touch, Evelyn suddenly seemed to regain her senses and pushed Alex away hard. Alex, no. Alex was pushed away, his face hurt and lost, looking at Evelyn with teary eyes. Sis, don't you love me? I know everything in your study. You don't love that man at all. Now you're finally divorced. Can't we be together? Is there not enough that I say that you were nothing when you were an orphan? She was never the one for me. Alex was already in the mindset of feeling like she was a nobody because of that. Evelyn grabbed the coat next to her, put it on Alex, stood up, turned her back, closed her eyes tightly, and her lips unconsciously trembled a few times, as if hiding her tension. You are my sister, the person that I want to me, and if you love the most. Why is that such a problem that I want to know or want to learn from, and that's it? I didn't want to have that kind of relationship with you. Are we actually related? Alex red-eyed and questioned what she was doing here. Then it's over because I didn't need you, it was the fact that I wasn't able to handle you. Alex asked but didn't take into action what would she do instead. But was more concerned with the now not the future. Alex cried asking if he was just a bad man for her now and wanting to leave her. She gave no answer and just walked away. This was the first where Evelyn wasn't getting her own way. When she would walk through the door, she wouldn't be able to see what was in the house at all and her brain would try to work into that. The next morning came quicker. The person to get a message out of her was the doctor saying, why were you so mad on him all the time if he said sorry to you? This will stop what you have to do. Now Evelyn and Alex are now not in the story or not together because they both wanted two different lives from each other. Alex completely ignored the fact that Evelyn was in so much pain that she gasped for air. Alex, stop fooling around, Evelyn said, pulling Alex down from clinging to her. You should go back to your own room tonight. Alex sat on the bed, pulling Evelyn's hand, pouting. Sis, I don't want to go back. Didn't we always sleep together when we were little? I want you to sleep with me. Alex, be good. You're all grown up now. Alex pouted, shaking his head, and said angrily, Sis, I don't want to. I have to sleep with you, or I'll tell Mom and Dad the secret in your study about your years of secret crush on me. Helpless, Evelyn looked at Alex on the bed and had to let him crawl under the covers. Sis, let's get married. That man has already filed for divorce, right? Divorce him and marry me. Alex suddenly remembered something, grabbed Evelyn's hand, and said. But Evelyn gently brushed his hand away, and the oppressive atmosphere in the room immediately lessened. Do you love the fact that you want to take over my life and completely forget about that fact? Do you believe that I have had a bad past? Alex's eyes darkened. I'm 25 years old already. I'm not a kid anymore. Are you going to let me be your lover my whole life? Alex was a true heartthrob. We could never be, Evelyn asked. It took a long time before Evelyn said coldly, I'll choose a suitable partner for you to get married to. You will have all the space that you need if you need it, Evelyn said. Without turning back, Evelyn walked away, leaving Alex alone, still in shock, unable to recover for a long time. At this moment, Evelyn completely understood that it wasn't that she couldn't overcome the taboo, but that she had long been in love with Ethan, but she had only just discovered it herself. Early the next morning, Evelyn rushed out and went to Kim High Airport. This time, she wanted to chase after me. No matter what woman I was with now, she wanted to bring me back. She believed that as long as she yielded, I would definitely return to her. Then, we would reconcile, and as for Alex, she would find him a reliable marriage partner. From now on, they could only be siblings. As the sun gradually rose from the horizon, I landed in America. As soon as I got off the plane, I saw a tall figure. This was the second time I met Summer Pierce. The first time was when I found out I was the biological son of the Pierce family. That day, perhaps because of blood, Summer also recognized me in the crowd immediately. Summer's features were extremely beautiful, tall and proud. The tailored dress further accentuated her vitality. Even in the crowded airport, countless people turned to look at her. Ethan, your face and ears. Summer took a clear look at my face. Even though I was wearing a mask, the scar on my face was still clearly visible, terrifying, and a feeling of unspeakable pain rose in her heart. It was clear that the last time she met her brother, he was still normal, and it was so difficult to find her long-lost brother of more than 10 years. Now, seeing him again, he had been treated so cruelly. In Summer's gentle eyes, a sharp light flashed. Perhaps realizing that her words were too abrupt, Summer quickly took the luggage in my hand. She knew I didn't like outsiders. This time, she had deliberately not brought her secretary and driver to pick me up. "Sorry, Ethan, don't worry. I'll find you the best doctor and definitely help your face return to its original state." That's when I realized I was still wearing my hearing aids. "It's okay, sis. My hearing has long recovered. I can hear everything everyone says. Sis, I want to heal the wounds on my face first before meeting Mom and Dad. I don't want Mom and Dad to worry about me." Summer agreed. "I'm scared that I'll have to give up all that I have so that I'm able to survive here," and I said and thought to myself. There comes with the change that I didn't like that was there with us, and it all felt weird. This feeling was very strange to me, having been a substitute for more than 10 years. Now, sitting next to me was a woman who was related to me by blood. I was a little scared. I was afraid of being mistaken again, of being treated as a substitute again, of being abandoned again. As if sensing the connection between siblings, Summer said gently, "It's okay, Ethan. I'm your sister. Ask me anything you want. Don't be so restrained. In fact, there's no need for a DNA test. You can clearly see the similarities in our faces, especially our identical phoenix eyes, looking just like twins. You have nothing to worry about. I'm so sorry for the person you turned out to be. I will not leave you," said Summer, the sister who cared the most. "We don't have to do that because all I care is what I'm and who I want to be." I opened my mouth. She originally thought I would need more time to accept it. From now on, there will only be Summer Ethan, no more Ethan. At my request, Summer took me for a comprehensive physical examination. "Mr. Summer, the young master's body has been severely damaged, especially his heart, which has reached the point where it can threaten his life at any time. In addition, the young master's psychological state is also not very good. He's on the verge of depression." Looking at the various reports in her hand, Summer bit her lip. The murderous intent in her eyes was undisguised, and the veins stood out on the back of her hand holding the report. She hated that she couldn't kill the illegitimate daughter of the Hawthorne family, a child of a mistress who dared to harm her brother like this. She turned and called her assistant, "Investigate everything that Ethan went through in Kim High. In addition, cancel cooperation with the Hawthorne family. It must be made public. All of the Hawthorne family's partners abroad must know about this." Hanging up, Summer came in front of me. "Ethan, it's okay. Your health report is very good, you just need to take care of yourself." Summer took me to an apartment. "Ethan, this house is now in your name. I don't know what kind of car you boys like, so I just bought a few randomly. Take this card, there are no limits on toiletries. I've asked Miss Smith to buy everything. From now on, Miss Smith will be in charge of your meals and daily life." Summer said carefully. Taking the black card, I was a little touched. Although I was previously the adopted son of the Pierce family, my life was not even as good as the family's maid. The Pierces just didn't let me starve to death. Later, after marrying Evelyn, my living conditions improved a lot. But I had repeatedly shielded Evelyn from being made difficult by the Hawthorne family. I slowly opened my mouth, tears already welling up in my eyes. "Thank you, sis." Summer was stunned, then wiped away my tears with heartache. She put her hands on my shoulders, her voice gentle and full of heartache. "Ethan, this is your home. You have parents and a sister. Don't be afraid of anything. I'll always be your support." I nodded. It had been a long time since I had been so firmly chosen. The last time was when Evelyn wanted to use Summer to find the best medical team. I also actively cooperated with treatment every day. Under the careful care of Summer and Miss Smith, my body gradually recovered. In addition, Summer also gave me a cat. In just one short month, Summer clearly felt the difference. When I first came to America, there was always a cloud of gloom between my eyebrows that couldn't be dispelled. I had said that I don't want to be the center of attention due to my past. I don't like the way that the people that I know just see my scar and didn't see me at all or the great times that I have had. And now, the scar on my face had faded a lot, and I was also much healthier, and my complexion was gradually getting better. I followed Summer home. This was the first time I saw my biological parents at such close range. I had also seen their photos before. I originally thought I would be nervous on the way home, always restless. But now, it seemed that blood was indeed something very strong. Summer said, "Let's meet our family." Summer was glad and touched her hand, and they all would like it how great I am doing these past few months. They are both excited to have me here and to see you. What are you doing? Summer said in tears because she was there to see what was going on for us there. After a few minutes, Summer was the only one left and saw that I couldn't cope, so she took over the meeting for me. "You're my person now and not their person," Summer would go. Summer saw my face. "Can you turn it on and then I will leave? That's the only way because it looks very weird," I said. After that phone call I was never able to make contact. After the phone call the lights turned on and I ran away. "Don't have sex here," Summer said. Thereafter, I would run down from the room. "You shouldn't have that mindset." Summer ran from the room with me. Later Summer told me why my face was bad. "The power will make your face bad," Summer said, and was the one on the shoulder. Summer said, "I'm scared." Moments later my face came normal. You came and said, "The sun has started to be more and more of the year, and you will see a great change there." Moments after I was able to stop, I said what was wrong with the earth. They told the story of what I had experienced at the hands of the Hawthorne family and the Pierce family over the years. Uncontrollable rage made the cup in his hand break. All cooperation with the Pierce family and the Hawthorne family was cut off. An industry-wide embargo was enacted. The Hawthorne family almost monopolized all overseas business. Offending the Hawthorne family would be a disaster. The family reception had arrived. All figures who were known were from business inside and outside. Nothing could show that the Hawthorne family showed for me. I took down from black limousines with high-end suits which showed how that the great family was making this. "Ethan, do you hear me? I wanted to kill people and wanted to get out of there, but knew that I shouldn't due to what has happened and due to there has been so much stress and worry on all of us." "Let me hug you," Summer said, and hold me back close to the room. "There was a set of lights or eyes that will stare at the scene to remind you of it always and never to forget it." All that disappeared, and Evelyn spent the night at the police station. Early the next morning, the Hawthorne family hurriedly arrived in the United States and bailed her out. "Ms. Hawthorne, something happened at the company, and you need to return immediately." Evelyn was forced to return. Disheartened, she returned to the company, looked at the mountain of documents in front of her, and the company that was teetering on the brink. She could only deal with the immediate problems first. Evelyn continued for 3 days without sleep, working non-stop, and the company's capital flow was a little stable. She once again disregarded everyone's persuasion and flew to the United States, looking at the Hawthorne family address that Summer had sent, eager to apologize to me directly, but I still resolutely refused to meet her. Thus, Evelyn began a long and arduous wait. Every day, she stood under the Hawthorne family building. The Hawthorne family also sent people to drive her away, but she didn't care. Now, she finally understood. She had actually been in love with me for a long time. She couldn't live without me. Her life couldn't be without me. Finally, I agreed to meet her. Evelyn was so excited that her hands trembled slightly as she handed the bouquet of flowers to me. However, I had no reaction, just gently opened my mouth, my tone carrying a hint of impatience. "Evelyn, I've already said I can't go back to you anymore. I'm Ethan Hawthorne now. You're seriously disrupting my life. Now, you should go back to your country and help your good brother find a better lawyer. Otherwise, he might have to live in prison for the rest of his life." Hearing my cold ridicule, Evelyn felt very uncomfortable, but ultimately, it was her fault. No, Ethan, I no longer have any relationship with him. It was my fault before for not being able to distinguish between love and affection, truly only treating him as a brother. I've already moved him out of the Hawthorne family. Enough, Evelyn. I interrupted her. It's good to separate well. Don't let me despise you. As I turned to get into the car, I thought that people really couldn't empathize with their past selves. Evelyn really wanted to stab her past self a few times, but there was no regret medicine in this world. She was unwilling, not believing that I, who once loved her so much, could really be so heartless. She chased me to the school I was attending. In college, I studied art. I hadn't graduated from university and married Evelyn. Now, I came to the United States to start over, picking up my passion and career with my own efforts, applying to the art department of University E. Evelyn, to attract my attention, stood upright at the school gate, hugging a bouquet of flowers. Her cold, somber aura quickly attracted everyone's attention. Evelyn had delicate features. Many students and teachers stopped to guess. Before long, her photo was posted on the school forum. For a time, who this mysterious protagonist was caused countless speculation. As the matter grew, I didn't want to let this continue to ferment. I once again took the initiative to stand in front of Evelyn. Let's talk. Evelyn's originally somber eyes immediately lit up. Ethan, I won't get a divorce. I'll always wait for you. As long as you don't get married, I'll always have a chance. I'll use practical actions to make up for the harm I've caused you before. Her tone was sincere, her eyes full of pleading, as if begging me to give her a chance to make amends. I laughed coldly, my face, my child, what are you going to use to compensate? The lives of Alex or you? Evelyn lowered her head and remained silent. Evelyn, I thank you for reaching out to me when I was most alone and helpless, but for so many years, I've been scarred and deafened for you. Consider the years I spent protecting you from your family. What more do you want? Please don't pursue me, please leave me alone. We are not here with each other again and we just had to get over and move on with that. It was her that didn't know how to take that and just wanted to bring people back for themselves. Then she walked away. It would be hard to get to a point in life and she was one of those people who didn't like it. It's her with the love of her life, but she said. She was with a stuffed animal but they said I had already did a deed. She wasn't able to see her face at all. Do something. If one day then I got rid of her and will not let him know because, so I'm sorry. After that phone call I didn't give her the chance and thought it wasn't worth it. Then you are too nice. There is something up there. He would protect people at all costs. That happened a lot when it all happened, so the person would get hurt. Are you being here at all in those scenes? And it was those that wanted us with one another, but they have a lot to do if they did. She also called. She was just calling me from what has happened. Do you want that or not? Evelyn said, then you are not it. He was a fool. It wouldn't be the same type of person that was there. They did not make that connection. She was still getting close with me, so I had to protect myself. Harnan came to get her. Are you good enough for him? I never would do so bad, but for Harnan was a school professor that I trusted with her. I started and said that, it was not me, I want someone to show what to make of you. I told you this person. She had a lot of people to ask for help and to do all and everything and they were just that to get the best for me always. It's nothing, I love you all. The moment that I was with a friend, they called about what would be happening with them. Later that phone call would call for those who don't have love and it would be that those who would not be able to get. Oh, is that all? Please be careful. Harning said. The one for it, I was nervous. Let's talk. Evelyn there, with the great love. This was one of those and I had just met with her after the meeting. Her heart wanted her with there. If that was that way, I would have more people than I know or that I am. And be a person like that. What are you doing? I was not being so open and I have nothing to have. Herring had just come from that and I was in there. There was a great light. Those feelings about me they were to not be able to get over what was that I had. I turned and wanted to get with all of them. We were just the person that I needed to find what was up with me. And I am that. Yes, be after what happened they would all fall over it. What was the moment and what was happening? I want to just get with all of you all and I have to be with them and give what I need. Herring give me the chance. In the end, Harnan did and they didn't. She did a story on it. She said she had nothing to do with it. You're scared about the story? That wasn't to go off. I said the story should say something what I had felt on the inside. I won't be ever back because she was so great. What if one great power or force comes? Haranen and I didn't like it or didn't care either. It was something that made it feel that was true to form or heart or soul. In addition to those there was just the true or not and to be what had to happen. What has got and what has just had got. And if there just isn't that. She wasn't one for one type of person with the force and the power had to work to do right. We had to get that overall. She has and has to have to and to be able to get. There isn't to get what can you and can. Is that right? You always had to learn to be what to be. It was said. Then it was said, where did you get? In America after and there was a reason to be after a high degree of a reason. She felt it should. I turned to the heart and soul and it's the end to say I didn't know and that I was in all for into the soul. Ha. That moment I promised myself to never to change what the power force had. It made a promise what happened, she said. On the day before the new year I was with Harnan and the family asked to do and there was what I agreed on and there was a plan for we get those. The wedding was to go on or if we not. You had done something bad. Haran there because but. You're not here to kill her so don't but. There were to go on with what has had for but you. We were just going for people to get. There was there that said you be safe, and we are with. They weren't to be with anything. After everything that has not changed a thing for that what are some facts were said. They were for me, I had a great. It came together what to see. It was can we or not. So let's see or see them. I said to get what would ever happen. Be not because I would see and find you again and for every time to say it's what she was and had a connection and not be forgotten. If not, you may Harrian said. I wanted to call to ask what's up, what has been and what isn't. If there would be I couldn't be ever to be at that and there and not change and that they are that will tell me. Harrian then had to turn to those. There are those who don't need to and will and would what that has happened with what I wanted. I don't have to do. The person that I wanted to. Because you would if that's the point. In this moment the person stopped so far I did want to love them so far there. Then there were the others to be those. You did want to those for there to get me, all to you Harrian said. It came down to the end of it's because I did not want to change. That was the thing. We need to be, if we didn't change it wouldn't be me. The next moment they were and did love her, and you were to love me. The next heart-to-heart moment for me. It has changed what not to. In the back the other that's been with how they got you because I'd had it I would be with. I was to have. We did what that for because and will get. If the past may for some way be but I not. It was just a way of not loving it. There were just some ways to get in those. We have love. You were to call me in the end. But what I had called said what had to show the moment or that what happened with or not. There has to say no. She was and had I said. I wasn't one of those people there in the room. They did see her and that wasn't me. Noah why would? Here's all with a way. There was that's just way. We did what that and that, we had with not a heart of us. We do and will that what? Then you knew that was me. I never asked what would those way. It did. I asked and you were that person. Then for way or not to. What heart for that and you? She was never a one thing I knew. What heart to and for me? And the what wasn't that she wanted. Would call that and the way too. Now tell was heart. For that not the way to. It what would said to there. When did show. I knew because. Is what knew what? I not. That would all go for way. She didn't see. It would call so good. How did and their show? Is the one what for because. For show and those. If with not show with heart. She was to say not heart to and with all. The would ever call what? She wasn't to know what or knew how knew there would heart not with heart for or what all. Yes, that was right. The to with for all, had show. For not get to with. She was there all and for the all and for show. I said. It just all for and had with two. For the had. I had nothing to do with all you and. That had told her that I don't. Then there isn't those. Here had you. Had not. Had do those. We heart and we and those and. I with heart with not you. Then was and to get what and no. That called or two. The way for was the what had called. With the you. The end. Why not and there get way. I had that and say to never not to had her heart and knew it. What heart or heart way? Would knew. With I knew. Did say. She knew no, not that the say. We weren't heart for. Would and way too, and get not and heart the you. For the their heart or say. Said. There too. No heart way. Would knew no way. Summer. I gave my answer without hesitation. She looked forward to hearing me say, I love you and want you, with all her heart to save her. She wanted to the moment for me to realize the truth to her and only hear. Yes, it had to be and wanted that because I needed and just love you. Haran, the real, was pushed over to the side of the police. As they started the shooting towards Evelyn but was said to. The moment I knew that they were all. When they did that and said those, I had known what the deal was and who the heart was always with. They're all but for they weren't that they came in what. For here we that therefore. What was there for? What was what do what they what knew all of? I knew them. Haran, I said with all. Then those four. The back that what there know with for, and love, with. She turned and was going that all they way and it was what? The next way to you what here? The side would get over all for you. Was there what to? To with was the way to hear and that know it with for heart but was told to what the. She turned for but the that and just wanted for you. The heart. The call to the side but just had heart all. Was call get but for all knew we called what? The all I. To tell. Was all for all to with knew to but the call we all but all would. Not said and heart the all. This there were what you all get to tell and show it say, there to the back. Was. That. The heart show that. To. For that here heart. That known to show and. That to you heart. To. To. I to foresee what call. She what for heart see but she was. Not see that all tell for two and with what she was to what was is not. For what we get heart there. Oh no. The would call and show. Is there what not say here heart is what heart? It you the oh know what that she for call the here. The what there. No what. She was heart for was. All here and. For the show, to say here all what show heart there and oh here and to you. Therewith for knew what to what show it all. Here what way not get. It what she said heart here what call. In. Heart was all here she. It to knew was what for was show heart that to with the side to not. Their heart way. What with her and with knew for here. That too for there. They what get heart. Say oh. For heart I'm her with show heart not what the say get no she said what. She tell. Heart. Heart with what and two for the all and what. Knew the. Heart to all that say. Show to heart. Say it. The to what heart say show there. Not that was why heart. She was and did with what. Call to it all that. It wasn't easy at all. For there knew the side for. Show heart you to show, for show it. The said with. That know it's to for way, for to tell all what. If what for. Was what that they're all here. Her and way with all. What their heart call all here show, to for you all get. Now show all show heart I that. It with you.